just like any other DYS, it was ran on a point system. And every day after dinner, if someone had 100 points, everybody would clap. You got 100 points, yay! And now you have benefits of getting 100 points. One of them is you get to go swimming with the Lunatics at Danvers State Hospital, or even play basketball.
I'm diagnosed with bipolar disease.
What is that? Explain what that is.
I'm not really sure what it is.
And Danvers State Hospital was a real spooky place. It's crazy because back then they thought that bipolar was a disease, and they would just lock these people up in this place, and the practices down there was crazy. And you know, DYS thought it was a good idea, obviously, to utilize their gym, utilize their pool, and bring kids down there with staff members. Who knows how well trained they were back in the early 90s that I'm talking. NFI DYS, when I was there, I was in the program. It was a 60 to 90 day program. I think it was called CTU, if I'm not mistaken. You could have did secure treatments CTU, but I actually got lucky and got the shelter care. Not because my caseworker wanted me to go to the shelter care. I think it was because of the overcrowding back then. Now, NFI in Middleton Intake is farmhouses, and it was where the farmers would sit and watch the land, right? That they had. And the land down there is crazy. So we would walk down to Danvers State Hospital, about 5 or 6 of us, to go play basketball or go swimming in the pool with the Lunatics. I say that in a funny tone, but in hindsight, that was a pretty crazy practice. And I'm sure DYS are doing some crazy practices now. Now, this is the front of NFI right here. Like I said, it was a farmhouse. It was open security, a shelter care, but there was dorms. And downstairs, we used to call that the ghetto. And upstairs, we used to call it the condos, the 4th dorm, where you had all the benefits. This is the back of NFI. This is where the basketball court was. And actually, the Danvers State Hospital security used to always drive around and watch this facility, just in case one of the juveniles would try to run, because there was really nowhere to run to. It was all farmland, unless you got onto Route 1, of course, where you get back to life and you can, you know, get home, or maybe figure out a ride. You had 100 points and up and you was in the 4th dorm, you was eligible to go to kids care. I got lucky and I got to go to kids care. Now, what is kids care? Kids care is where they take 5 to 6 DYS kids, okay? I think the guy was named Richie who ran it. And we would go school to school in the area. Like I said, this is in Middleton, Mass. We would go to schools like Woburn High School, Wilmington High School, Lexington. We're going to these high schools in these little towns, and we're the same age as these kids. And I guess the whole thing of it was that we were the DYS kids to talk to the high school kids to say, hey, listen, we're in DYS going to high school. We're locked up. You don't want to do what we do. Now, during that time, it was crazy because we're going class to class with these kids to talk to them. We're actually eating in their cafeteria food with them during lunch. So the feelings of it was pretty crazy. It was hard to balance. It was a bitter pill because when you went to kids care every day, you was out and you were actually going inside the high school, seeing all the pretty girls, seeing what everybody was wearing, and you know, just the whole vibe of it, right? And then you're going back to DYS, and you know, you sit there, and they actually used to encourage you to get pen pals. So a lot of us got a lot of girlfriends from kids care, a lot of girls we met, and you know, some kids I know actually ran to go see the girls. Now the problem with that was if you ran from NFI, we had a run board. And every 30 days, if no one ran, we would get a pizza party. And if no one ran for 90 days, they would throw a dance. And they would bring a girl DYS program in, they would bring them in a van, they would have a DJ lined up, they would have pizza, they would have the place popping, all right? And we would be dancing with the girls, the DYS girls, and just hanging out for the night if we didn't run for 90 days, so they gave you incentive. Now, some would say, hey, why are you complaining? That sounds like a good time, right? It was a lot of leniency, but it was a mind game. Looking back at it, you would say, hey, they were pretty good to us, right? And they were, and there was a lot of good people there. But the staff members and the people working there, I don't know their qualifications, especially back then. And the point is, you were in and you were out. And some DYS kids said, hey, I love DYS, I had a good time. But the thing is, the mind games of it is, you're going to these high schools and kids care, and you're seeing kids just doing regular stuff, and then you kind of get depressed, and you don't know it. You don't know it when you're young. You're like, wow, I'm not a regular kid. I'm actually a DYS kid. And they kind of stamp that on you. One minute you're feeling great going to kids care, like, wow, I feel like a regular kid. And the next minute you're back in there talking to a staff member saying, hey, can I step to go to the bathroom? Waking up in the morning telling me to eat, telling me to shit, telling you the same type of situation as jail, even though it's an open door facility. But you know, obviously if you open up the door, the alarm sounds and they're gonna chase you. Dare I say, you see this video here I'm showing you of the new DYS, the Northeast region in Middleton. It's like a prison. Now in DYS, they call us residents, okay? This right here, obviously, you're an inmate, right? But at least you know that's what it is. You're locked up, you're an inmate. There's just no other way around it. But you know what it is. It's a lockdown facility, you're locked up. There's no in, there's no out, that's it. And you know what you're getting.
I'm the one that's taking the pills. I'm the one that has the handicap, and yet they don't believe me when I tell them these symptoms.
You're exposed to this. You're exposed to Danvers State Hospital. You're exposed to lunatics outside smoking cigarettes, people walking around doing the Thorazine shuffle. It's a bittersweet pill, and for a young kid to try to swallow it and try to decipher it all, what it all means, it kind of gets you depressed. You're exposed to this. You're exposed to the system. So they had some crazy practices right there. But yeah, crazy times for sure.